Peace to everybody out there in ethos, all my peoples. You have reached the Real HD show, the higher discussion. Excuse self. I'm your host, Vic. You are on a 2 hour ride of awareness so you can move fearless. We are prime time with a purpose. Don't get nervous. We're going below the epidermis on the show known as the higher discussion. Come ride with us, rock with us for that duration. Please, if you will, please, thank you, peace and hair grease, will you share and let everybody know that we are on right now? So if you're within the sound of my voice and you're getting the broadcast coming to you via our four Facebook channels: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Kick, D Live, Trovo Nation. We are everywhere you want to be. We are the Real HD Show. Please share and let people know that we on and popping. Let them know that it's on. Let them know that that social justice show, that awareness to move fearless, is on right now, and everybody can join in. It's not hard. Here's what you do: you can join us with our StreamYard link. You can come link up live and be on the stage with me and chop it up about everything that needs to be the good, the bad, the ugly of our people, healed by freedom music. Freedom music happens from 7:30 to 8 p.m. We didn't do it tonight because I was busy prepping, but on most nights we do stuff like this. And you can join us there, or you could join us this way down below, streamyard.com, ZQG 6GXG 4DV. That's right, ZQG 6GXG 4DV. That's how you join us. You come up on the stage, you talk your ish, you get your points across. It's your voice, your victory right here on the Real HD Show. We just trying to figure it out. We don't have all the answers, but we got a hell of a lot of questions that might be pertinent to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, without further ado, just like we always do, we got to get started doing our elders and ancestors blueprint. Why? Because we are standing on the shoulders of greatness. We are nothing without the contributions, the blueprints, and the well intended plans of people who came before us. Um, I tell that to my kids, I tell that to my family, my community, the kids I teach. I'm telling it to you, we are nothing without them. And then everybody wants to try to reinvent the wheel like there's anything new under the sun. It's really not. There's nothing new under the sun. Um, so why reinvent the wheel? Let's find out what some of our ancestors did and how we can incorporate that and do a little bit better. So here is the Real HD Show, Elders and Ancestors Blueprint. Here we go.
And one of the largest celebrations in the nation of the newest federal holiday will happen in Denver's Five Points neighborhood.
Denver 7's Micah Smith shows us more about that community that's played a vital part in the history of African Americans here in Colorado.
Brian and Molly, today the Five Points neighborhood in Denver is experiencing gentrification and innovation. But this often leaves behind the longtime residents who are trying to preserve the soul of their neighborhood. But I want to take you back to the beginning and explain how Five Points evolved into the resilient community that it is today.
In the middle of these four streets in North Denver, you'll find the heartbeat of a community. 26th Avenue, Washington, 27th, and Welton Streets join together to create 5 distinctive points. Together in the 1870s, the Five Points neighborhood shaped Black American life in the Mile High City. Five Points started out as a neighborhood for all races. Once other neighborhoods started to grow and become more trendy, white Coloradans left and moved to other parts of town. Due to racial segregation and redlining, The practice of refusing to give loans or sell homes to buyers of color in certain parts of town, the majority of black Coloradans were forced to remain in the 5 Points Whittier neighborhood. As black Coloradans were subjected to the growing presence of the KKK in Colorado throughout the 1920s, 5 Points became a haven and a target of hate.
Louisville and Golden and parts of Colorado Springs were considered to be a haven for the Ku Klux Klan.
But even in the face of discrimination, this area thrived, with every storefront representing a black-owned business.
My grandfather, Alexander Arthur Waller, had a business, opened a banking and realty business right next to the Rossonian. And that was kind of the center of the 5 Points area.
And the most famous musicians stay in its hotels.
Here's Billie Holiday. She was featured at the Rossonian, and Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington.
The good times rolled. The civil rights movement of the 1960s and the anti-discrimination legislation that followed meant black residents were finally allowed to live in other parts of the city. But this resulted in many choosing to leave 5 Points, and the once thriving neighborhood with bustling storefronts saw a lot less traffic, less city investment, and higher crime. Slowly, in the 1980s, businesses started to return, with staples like the Black American West Museum opening its doors, and efforts to preserve a number of other historic 5 Point sites and stories.
And we are the gatekeepers for this culture. We are the historians, we're the librarians, we're the storytellers, we're the community activists.
Each year during Juneteenth, a holiday celebrating the day that the last slaves in the United States learned they were free, the heart of the city beats loudly in 5 Points. With jazz music, parades, and black culture flowing through the streets of a neighborhood so dear to so many.
You can learn more about this incredible community tonight on Denver 7 during our special presentation called 5 Points. It will air at 6:30. Molly.
All right, 5 Points, another rediscovered black gem of the 20th century, early 20th century, because of course, like the great show, the Amber Ruffin show, kind of laid out, there were over 60 black cities and towns that were either burned down, destroyed, and turned into national parks or waterways across the country. 5 Points is one of those cities that still exist. It had a vibrant history. So when we talk about the original Black Wall Street and its survivor, Viola, which is in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, we also want to remember 5 Points, Colorado, that had a thriving black economic community and falls into the cases and falls into the lineage and the vestiges of your Idlewilds, your 5 Points, your Wilmington, Delawares, and then of course your Tulsa, Oklahomas. So we want to salute 5 Points. We know that their history is plagued with, and then of course right now, what's going on there is they're gentrifying that neighborhood because of its vibrance and its history and the economic base that it continues to be even till this day. Uh, Origins, it developed in the 1800s as a suburb, and its name comes from the 5 Point Street intersection, just like we have a 5 Points in Rochester, and that's a intersection of many towns at one point. It was African people, melanated people epicenter. Became Denver's first predominantly black neighborhood, attracting families due to railroad jobs. And we all know, well, you should know, the very prominent role that melanated people played in the construction of the U.S. railroads. John Henry, anybody? With 90% of Denver's population living there in the 1920s. right? It was called Harlem of the West, a national jazz and blues center, hosting legends like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, in the famous Rossonian Hotel. Um, Home to successful black businesses, churches, and community institutions, fostering strong self sufficiency despite racism, thriving black community, $1 million value, produced leaders and cultural icons, including the first black football player in the CSU, John Mosley, and early five black firefighters, business, and leaders. Um, it suffered through segregation and redlining, post 1960s decline, and in the modern era, 5 Points is experiencing significant development in gentrification, bringing new businesses, but are concerned about displacing longtime residents, leading to community driven efforts to balance growth with historical preservation. So, if you're ever in Colorado, please visit and you're a melanated person, please visit the community of 5 Points. Maybe throw a little cash on a little something, and hopefully that community will reward you with a equally quality product given back to you, either through a commodity or through some sort of hospitality. I know, you know, I didn't get to go, but another family member of mine got to go, and I do want to see Denver, Colorado, and visit 5 Points. Um, and there's a jazz museum there as well. So, if y'all are in that area and y'all want to support, please go down to 5 Points and give it up, turn it loose, and get down with your people that are there. You'll probably find some native folk, some black folks mixed with some native folk living there because of the Dakota Indians and the Trail of Tears. So the Dakota Indians came from the North, Trail of Tears came southwest. So you'll probably find that to be a landing ground for many displaced uh, Aboriginal melanated people, and then people also who escaped chattel, uh, the chattel institution of the peculiar Southern institution. All right, we know what that's talking about. We know what period that is detailing. So let's move along. And that was our, elders and ancestors blueprint right here on the Real HD show. You can still chat with us. Come on up, streamyard.com. ZQG6 GXG4DV. Come on up, say your piece, and get some peace. You know what I'm saying? Because we all about the people, we all about the culture, we all about being and loving one another here, building for a better tomorrow. All right. So we'll keep that there as we keep it moving. And we are gonna jump into our AAT report, our AAT health report, healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a brand new you. Here we go. Yeah, we are in the middle of a health report. That's right. Every week I try to do a health report because a couple of years ago we were robbed of our cell power through the pandemic, as I like to call it. And, you know, there are some things that we can do to make our health better. So anything on the land, sea, and air, we can cover to see that happen. All right. So tonight's part one of our AAT report is a doctor that wants to talk to you about um, the real, logistics of what goes on in the hospital. Um, we found out during the pandemic that doctors were getting incentives to label patients COVID patients when they really weren't. And during that time, any patient that came into a doctor's office with any affliction got labeled a COVID patient. And then the hospitals would get kickbacks, subsidies, and set asides from municipalities and auspices if they did such things. And it was quote unquote rumored to be led by federal agencies to do these sorts of things. So we want this doctor to also talk to just the general nature of logistics and how it plays out when you go into a medical office or you're a patient of a doctor, and some of the idiosyncrasies that you may experience as a patient. Here we go. AAT report. Here we go.
Scott Jensen, and I am not exaggerating when I tell you, if you're a patient, your doctor, your insurance company, your clinic, your hospital, we can all get paid more if we make you sicker. And I think you need to understand that. This patient's on Medicare. His insurance company will get paid more by Medicare if this patient is seen as more sick. There's all kinds of incentive plans being doled out by insurance companies and government programs to clinics and providers and healthcare systems. For instance, one of them that you may have heard of is if a clinic can hit a certain threshold level of patients taking a certain kind of vaccine, they get paid a chunk of money for each one of those patients that took the vaccine. So it's not uncommon to have like an influenza vaccine incentive program, and say you have 1,000 patients that could potentially qualify. Well, if you could hit, say, 60%, you might get this amount of money per patient. If you can hit 80%, they'll give you this much. Literally, doctors can get tens and tens of thousands of dollars on an annual basis for an incentive program as simple as that. Here's another one. If we can call you diabetic based on some parameters, even if we're not treating you with the medication or didn't really do anything for you, if we can call you diabetic and we do a test called an A1C. Now, if we do an A1C and we get a 6.8 reading, that allows us to call you diabetic, even if we don't do anything for you. And when a person has diabetes, generally a doctor or a clinic will get a good mark if they can keep that person's A1C less than 7.5, sometimes less than 8, sometimes less than 7. But if you can call someone a diabetic with an A1C,
Okay. So I guess that's it. So I guess you guys get the point. I hope you get the point that they are medical designations and federal subsidies and municipal subsidies that are given to insurance companies, doctors, hospitals, emergency rooms, the like, clinics, to diagnose you a certain way. And you may not have that affliction, or you may not be as bad off with the affliction as, you know, they're indicating. But if they can title you and categorize you in a certain way, they get kickbacks, they get medical, they get rewards, financial, budgetary, line item rewards from the powers that be to label you sick, to label you under a certain health, uh, problematic area, to prescribe medicines that maybe you may or may not need, to feed the insurance industry. So please really do your due diligence. Ask your doctor as many questions as possible. Um, get second and third opinions. Get natural homeopathic consultations about what's going on with you before you bankrupt yourself on an opinion or a diagnosis. Now I know a lot of people will say, well, that's not really good info because doctors are there to help your help your sickness and your afflictions and whatever pathogens are creating malady in the body. But honestly, medicine is a business, like greeting cards are a business, or gas at the gas station is a business. But because it's so socially relative, we don't often think of it like that. And because doctors and nurses heal us of our afflictions, we don't really think of them as in a business. But then when that big ass hospital bill come through and it's attacking your credit or it's attacking your livelihood because you have to spend your hard-earned money trying to pay back those bills and get caught up on your debts due to those bills. Um, Not so fun then, not so social then. The doctor that prescribed that big old bill, the doctor that laid out that big old invoice for that big old bill that came to your house, is not there to be social with you, right? And heal you of your bill. The doctor can't heal you of that bill. You know what I'm saying? That bill is coming hot. You know what I mean? And it wants your attention. So that's just one thing I want us to be vigilant about as we move into the rest of the year, especially this month, because this month is the month of the year where we eat a little bit more, we celebrate a little bit more, and then those kind of hospital related afflictions creep up on us faster, attack us more, and then of course with sugar and plastic being in just about everything, you know, irritation and you know, what do you call that? Inflammation is at an all-time high due to sugar. And so pain is at an all-time high for people. And then it creates these medical, financial, and social arrears for us. And it's just really not a healthy thing. When there may be some things you can do to improve your diet, improve your exercise, improve your, maybe your vitamin D deficient. There could be some other things that improve how you feel and how you're dealing with what's going on with you medically. So make sure you guys are doing that and make sure you guys are seeking answers beyond the pale. All right. So we got one more. We got a couple more from our AAT report. I want to go to my brother, Reza Islam. That brilliant brother out there in Cali putting it down, doing a lot of, self sufficient things for the community. Uh, I believe he's an officer in the Nation of Islam, spokesman. And he always comes to us with a great word about self preservation, self love. And him and his wife have come up with this really extraordinary thing because I don't know if you guys have seen it on social media or on the news or your alternative media sources. And I showed it on the show that there perhaps may be some, um, really carcinogenic elements in women's feminine pads. And we also talked about the first sister who created the first sanitary belt was a black woman, and now we're going to expand on that particular idiom to talk about Reza Islam's solution to um, what's going on with women, their cycle, and how they can protect themselves while, um, you know, honoring their cycle month to month. All right, so we want to bring that up. So this is a brother. Reza Islam is in the black and red, NOI, and he is with a brother who just bought like the whole neighborhood worth of pads. So he may have a lot of women in his family that he wants to, you know, dispense these to. Maybe he's giving gifts. Everybody probably knows someone who suffers with afflictions and they have to pain manage when they're on their cycle. And Reza Islam and his recently married wife came up with this peace pad uh, business, and they're going around all over the country. He just got back on social media. So it's a shout out to the men who are taking care of the wombs of their wives, daughters, sisters, aunties, cousins, nieces with peace pads. Fathers, husbands, uncles, brothers, sons who see what women in their lives go through and choose to help them with their clean sanitary products. So the plastic, they say that the plastic lining in sanitary products are not healthy for women. They say it can even lead to um, you know, porous bacteria going, reaching places in their private area that it shouldn't reach, and women are suffering, and pain follows, infection follows, so on and so forth. And we want to salute Brother Reza Islam and his wife for coming up with this revolutionary pad. And I got a video about it that I want to show you. Um, yeah, I got it right here. Good. Okay, cool. So it won't take long. Boom. Pull it up. And we're going to play it. Here we go. Peace pads. AAT report.
I'm very thankful, very proud, and very happy to announce that we have come up with a solution to an issue that I've been discussing for a very long time. When it comes to reproductive health, your brother has been discussing the depopulation agenda for at least the last decade. And what I'm talking about is the attack on the woman's womb and the men's reproductive system as well. We know they are pushing chemicals in the air, water, food, and other areas to get rid of us in multiple ways. And because of that, we have to come up with solutions to handle all these different areas. So this solution that I'm working on is not the last solution, but it is one of them. We decided to not only talk about it, but to be about it. And we've decided to come out with our own line of sanitary napkins called Peace Pads. Yes, yes, yes. Our own line of pads for women. Why? We have to have a healthy future. If we have a healthy womb and a healthy reproductive system as men, we will have healthy children and a healthy future for our people and for all of humanity. Our pads are all natural, chemical-free, non-toxic, and 100% cotton. Wouldn't you like to have that? Not only do we have 5 levels covering the entire range of what you may need, but we also have the bundle pack. Now this is the limited edition bundle box or piece pack, and it is very, very, very beautiful to witness. That's all you're getting for now. And you may be asking yourself, well, Reese, so why did you decide to come out with a pad company for women? Why did you decide to do that? Well, I'll be honest with you. As a young black man and as a man in general, I believe we have to get more involved in this conversation and in circumstance. This is something that women go through every month, regardless to whether they want to or not. For the most part, we as men have to get more involved, become educated, be more supportive, because again, a healthy womb brings a healthy future. A healthy seed from us as men brings a healthy future, and together as a balance, we can have a healthy future as a people. A study came out demonstrating that some of the top companies dealing with pads and tampons are affecting women with heavy metals, arsenic, and other cancer-causing elements. So we have to take this very serious and take control of this circumstance. I think it's best that we have something that is all natural, organic, 100% cotton, something that is comfortable, durable, and that is safe for our women to have. So I decided to take responsibility, not complain about it, but be about it and create solutions. Go ahead and go to peacepads.net and get yours. You already know where it's coming from. You know the quality. And again, we are very thankful to provide a solution in this area, one of many. All she needs.
All right, so you heard it. Go get your peace pads. And that's some of the things we want to do on the Real HD Show channel. Just in general, is we want to have we want to support small melanated businesses as they grow and as they create themselves, and we want to make sure that they metastasize in a great way. We want to make sure that they move on throughout America and give melanated people alternative. So if you are a small melanated business across the United States or the diaspora for that, and you have a unique, cultivated, tested product that's reliable that we can market on the Real HD Show, please contact me at vic7@gmx.com. I am starting a show called the World Class Co-op Shop, Cooperative Shopping, right? And what we're going to do on that show is we're going to feature gig economy and small melanated businesses across the world and big businesses for a fee. We won't rob the bank, but we will feature you. We will get you that advertising that you need, and we will feature your products. So if you sew socks in Brooklyn, you make hamburgers in Cali, you got them yams in Georgia, or you are the best jersey maker in Minneapolis. We will feature you on the World Class Co-op Shop. We can stop guessing as a people where to find what to do with what, and how to revolve our dollar in our community better than we're currently doing. So I just wanted to show you Peace Pads, Risa Islam. I wanted to show you his get down. I think that's really dope. But let's put Always out of business. Let's put all of these, wings and things with the sanitary pads out of business, and let's bring back the original agency of the sister who created the first sanitary belt for women, who was a sister, and she did it out of necessity. Her name escapes me at the moment, but I'll relay it to you when I get it. And let's put them out of business. Let's support Peace Pads. Let's support the melanated businesses that are taking care of business, that take care of us. Okay? Yeah, man. So that was in the middle of a AAT report, our health report, Healthy, Wealthier, and Wiser for a Brand New You. So in case you missed it, we went over Peace Pads, and we also went over what doctor logistics and the truth about what doctors and patients go through in doctors' offices, the reality of the doctor patient healing relationship. All right, so now we're about to go into another AAT report, and you guys can join us. There is the link below. You can jump on the stage and let us know what you think. And with right now, we're going to jump into something that's talking about that crown juice, right? And why is talking about the crown juice still a thing right now? Well, it killed over 500,000 people worldwide. Number one, it took a bunch of people that I know and love from me, um, whether they died directly from it or they died during that period because of the mass hysteria and confusion, and they didn't get the adequate medical care that they deserved. It still robbed a lot of us of our loved ones, and it also weakened the immune system and fighting capabilities of our bodies, that are meant to self heal, during the time of the pandemic and all of the dangerous clandestine things that were happening during that period. And one of the major things was not only the sickness of COVID, but the crown juice that was told to us would be the remedy, ill tested, ill regarded. And then, your people, the Vic, man, uh I got canceled on YouTube because I spoke truth to power about the crown juice and about the crown epidemic. You know what crown stands for. I hope you do. If you don't, look it up. It's not hard to get that alignment. So we're talking about crown juice, right? Because we can't be very, very, very plain. But the crown juice went around. There were a whole lot of maladies. Pfizer put out a 35-page report of warnings and medical injuries that happened as a result of the crown juice, that them in places like Moderna and um, you know other makers, Johnson and Johnson, and then they wanted you to double up and double up and double up, and then they also fired people because people were mandated to take the stuff and did not do it. So a lot of my fellow teachers in the New York City area got fired. A lot of firefighters and policemen and teachers got fired because they just did not believe in what they were being told. And I'm glad they did, because you can seek work anywhere. You can't replace your health. Health is wealth. Um, on the Iverson show, right? They were talking about how in the LA Times, the owner of the LA Times wrote a piece about spike proteins were found in tumors. So we know that there were massive deaths during the time of the crown juice period. And when they did autopsies on these bodies, now it's being released that when they discovered the cancerous nature of COVID and how it afflicted the organs that failed, and what was being found there was detrimental. It was not being honest by the medical industries and the scientific industries. And remember, I never seen a time period where the scientific industry and the medical industry was so at odds with one another about efficacy, about integrity, about who's going to tell the truth versus who is lying. It was a really conflicted time period. You had scientists that came out with the product, having patterns, merchandising patterns with with Congress so that they can become patents rather, so that they could become rich. So I just want to show y'all a quick video about this, so you can get the gist of what I'm talking about. Because we're unraveling this ball of yarn. Every single time we turn, we're unraveling this ball of yarn. That was the pandemic period, string by string, and it's all coming up. It's all coming up nasty, and it's all coming up with not roses, but like Andre said, roses are smelling like boo boo right now, as far as all of that's concerned. So Kim Iverson, I share my screen. I'm gonna put the video on about Kim Iverson talking about spike proteins found in tumors that absolutely kill people. Here we go.
All over cancer tumors, all inside of cancer tumors. Quite a bombshell. He says he is a surgeon, by the way, who invented the nanoparticle chemotherapy. Abrexane sold to companies for billions of dollars. He now owns the LA Times. He appeared on both Charlie Kirk's show and also Chris Cuomo's show, saying that spike protein has just been found all over the place. Let me just play for you this clip from Chris Cuomo's show.
No evidence that when you actually biopsy the tumors, there's the spike protein inside those tumors.
From COVID.
From COVID.
And then there's what happened with Jim Johnson. In 2022, he'd survived his HPV-related cancer for 7 years, and he'd taken the COVID vaccine. Then his doctor gave him some shocking news. The cancer was back with a vengeance.
First person that they know of on the planet that had HPV metastasize onto his liver.
And they didn't know why.
Had no idea why.
This is why I worry when I'm now seeing 10-year-olds with colon cancer. I had a 13-year-old died in a clinic with pancreatic cancer.
Now, remember, during the pandemic, one of the things that they were saying is that if you got COVID or you took the vaccine, you had a greater chance of having your medical afflictions metastasize or get greater or be more immediate. Don't have a pre-existing condition that could grow, because that disease and the crown juice will make that even worse. So that's kind of what they're talking about now.
I'm seeing a lady who's very close to me who had a thymoma 30 years ago, never had remission for 30 years, got COVID, and now it's got metastasis.
Okay, so it's important to note that Dr. Soon-Shiong is talking about COVID itself, but not just COVID. He's also going to talk about the vaccine, and I'll show you that clip. But in this segment with Chris Cuomo, he's talking specifically about COVID, saying that something about this spike protein has caused maybe these turbo cancers. It's caused cancer to spread to places it normally wouldn't spread, or it's caused people to.
So that's a new word now too. Turbo cancer. I thought cancer was already turbo. So now we have something that was exposed to people that turns cancer into an even faster spreading disease because of the spike proteins. We got to do better. That was crazy. Affected too many lives, took too many people. Let's continue.
That were normally in remission. They'd been in remission for a long time, and suddenly they're out of remission. So he's saying something is up with this COVID spike protein. But when he was on Charlie Kirk's show, he actually talks about the vaccine itself and how this, remember, because people who got the vaccine also got COVID. It didn't stop them. So now these people have not only gotten COVID and the spike protein from COVID, but now they've got the spike protein from the vaccine. And a lot of them were turned into spike protein making factories, because that's what the mRNA vaccine told your body to do, was to turn itself into a spike protein factory. And now Dr. Soon-Shiong is saying, yeah, and it turns out those spike proteins are super, super dangerous and potentially causing turbo cancers. Watch this.
So let me just ask the elephant in the room question, if I can, doctor, which is some of our audience is saying, Charlie, this must be the COVID shot, that it's the mRNA shot. I'm sure you get this question a lot, doctor. In your expertise, is there any truth to that? Is that something worth looking into? Help us laymen understand how you're thinking about this.
It is very much something we have to look into. And it's not a political thing. It's a really scientific issue. So for us to understand the COVID vaccine as it currently was presented, which was the spike protein, that spike protein was what they call stabilized. And by so doing, it would enter any part of the body together with these, without going too deep into the technicalities, there's lipid carriers. So the question is, would these spike proteins, together with a combined infection, cause replication in the body? And does that explain the myocarditis? Does it explain the autoimmune disease? Does it explain the brain fog? Does it explain the residual replicating viruses in the colon? So absolutely, this needs to be understood and explored. I don't think there's a coincidence between this, what I call turbo cancers. I get calls after calls of patients that were in remission and then got COVID and now they have cancer.
Yes.
So I think that this immunity underestimated. The beauty is the bioshield can overcome this immunosuppression. The beauty is that this bioshield can clear this virus from the body. And that's what we're in trials now.
Will anyone face consequences or have any sort of judgment or justice for what's been done here? And would you call them crimes?
Well, look, I have clear information in my possession of the blockage that has been happening over the last 4 years. And, you notice I said it's not a conspiracy if it's true. I'm not a politician and I'm not a lawyer, but somebody will have to be able to investigate that and look into that. I can't comment on whether it's considered a crime. I consider it a moral issue that we have an obligation to our people in America. And it wouldn't be right if this got approved in the rest of the world first, when actually the innovation came from our country.
So there you have it. So look, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not law enforcement, so I can't tell you.
All right, so we're back. We are back. We are talking about, proteins and things, crown juice. What's your take on it in the aftermath of the pandemic? Let us know in the comments. Put it up in there. Let me know. Do you still think this is something of concern? And do you think that these turbo cancers, as they call it, are affecting people? Are they affecting you? Are they affecting someone that you know and love? I know that the health of the boomer generation that is getting into their senior years is extremely tender and sensitive. And, we got to really try to protect them as much as possible, because those are going to be the ones who, and the elders, if you have any of the elders generation, oldest generation still around, but especially the boomers who are getting up there, we want to protect them, and we want to make sure that they are able to maximize their health and vitality. And do you see COVID as still, do you see the dynamics of COVID still afflicting people the way it did before? Are we completely desensitized to COVID and what COVID meant and what COVID uh, put upon the people? Because we had to go through so many various, you know, avenues and emotional highs and lows with that period. The having a quarantine and losing loved ones and not being able to go to the funerals of loved ones and not being able to see them and not being able to see your own loved ones, right? Or breaking up with loved ones because you were so quarantined, you didn't get the healthy distance and the space that you need to be healthy as a couple. And then, of course, that led to divorces at an all time high and things like that. Not to mention what they were talking about with the crown juice and what it did for people with maladies, people with pre existing conditions. Let us know in the comments if you have any connection or relativity to it, and we could talk about it on the show. If not, we are going to move on. Now, um, I have to let me see something. I gotta load two things up, and then once I do that, I can bring them to y'all because we're getting ready to move into a uh lit city report, a quick one, not a long-winded one, a very quick one, and one that will make you proud because we need cell power. Yeah, man, we need levity. We need cell power. Cell power helps us get levity, and vitamin D helps our cells. So we are moving on with our lit city report, the wild, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. And we want to talk to you about a couple of really dynamic human beings, um, some which are, young ladies that have done some dynamic things in the world. We want to celebrate them. We want to make sure that they are adequately, you know, delivered to you guys, and the good news of who they are and what they do gets across your plate. Let's see. Do I have someone that wants to chop it up? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, just get at me on my Vic7 at GMX email if you want to do business. Vic7 at gmx.com. That's for business. So hit me up and we can talk about all the business offers and things you want. So hit me up there. Try not to bother me on the show because I'm concentrating on giving the people a successful show, not doing business here. So we're in the middle of a lit city report, the wild, the wacky, wonderful things that make our world go round. Because we need levity. We need things that make us feel good. We need joy, right? Laughter and joy. That is medicine, right? Um, Patch Adams exposed that was really great. Medicine, really great ways to do what you do. Okay. So I'll put it up here. Sent full mass. Here we go. So says 19-year-old Jessica Hyatt is now the highest rated African American chess player ever. Wow. What a feat. What a feat. And the reason why I say that is because for a while, I was running the chess club at my high school along with some other teachers and a couple of after school programs. And that was the one game that a lot of young ladies strayed away from. They would play cards, they would play board games, but they strayed away from, um, you know, chess as a game. And I also was doing a UN. I was also doing a UN, some work with the UN, a UN group, a melanated UN group. And one of the things that I did with my students was I taught them the game of chess, and I compared it to certain points of literature. And I was trying to teach them how life is like a game of chess. And as we read classic literature books like Man with the Iron Mask, Count of Monte Cristo, Three Musketeers, all Dumas novels, by the way, we can compare the lessons, the historical context and the lessons, the life lessons throughout the story to moves on the chessboard. And it was dope. And the kids really appreciated it and they really loved it and they really wanted more of it. And what they got was less funding, less opportunity to seek more of that creative learning. And it wasn't by my doing, it was just what was in the budget and what wasn't. Um, and you know, we want to make sure that we pass those along to people. We want to make sure that the youth knows all about this, and how it's, how the game has been a wonderful way to learn strategy, learn, you know, learn exponential thinking, and, you know, all of the necessary, elements to be a critical thinker and a problem solver. And chess allows you to kind of do that if you study it, and you can manipulate it in really, really great ways. It's a game that you could put your own creativity and strategy to, and it will yield dividends for you if if you press it like that. Um, so Jessica Hyatt is from Brooklyn. She is a 19-year-old. She's the highest black female chess player in the U.S. After earning her master title. Give me 1 second. I wanted to read from an excerpt celebrating her. So give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Yes, she's from Brooklyn. She she has a national master title, breaking barriers and inspiring a new generation of chess players. Um, she's a Brooklyn head, so that's is Brooklyn in the house. Where Brooklyn at, right? And we want to, we want to salute the Bobby Fishers, and we want to salute all our young geniuses. And this is just one more way to do it, by highlighting and celebrating Miss Jessica Hyatt. So if you could look up something, or look up her, go on Instagram, there's a write up on her. You can go on CBS News, there's a write up on Jessica Hyatt and all her exploits. We want to check out one more in our Lit City Report. Sister doing great things in the ethos. We want to talk about this. Black woman launches one of few smartwatch brands in the world. She launched a smartwatch brand in the world. So we want to talk about that. And if anybody knows about this, please chime in. Um, we want to know how her smartwatch brand differs from others. And we want to know why her smartwatch brand is really, really dope. But above all, we love the agency. We love the um, we love the ownership. We love the creativity, and we love the ingenuity. And I'm hoping that when this pulls up, that it gives us because I haven't seen this before. I hope it gives us a glimpse into what's special. Let me share this really quick. Share my screen.
If you don't know, many physicians abroad, at least in Africa to be specific, many of them do see many, many patients a day. And she was doing that, taking care of her children, came over here, continued to work night shifts, school during the day, take care of us. And it was just a very hectic journey for her. She just wanted something to motivate her. She wanted a companion on her fitness journey to be able to take care of herself, and it definitely was not something that we could afford. And even till now, smartwatches are super, super expensive, as you may have noticed. So at the time, it was really hard for her. And one particular day, you may be able to see that in this picture here, I took this picture on the same day that she received that smartwatch. Her brother, my uncle, had sent her a smartwatch as a gift, and this woman was elated. I have not seen her take off her watch till today. She wears it everywhere. It does not come off her wrist. And I was looking at those pictures last year, and it just began to dawn on me that people really need just one thing. You know, many people need just one thing to be motivated. They need just one thing to let them know that they are loved and that they are being taken care of. The same thing that my mom wanted. And I just felt I should do the same thing. I should bring forward a more affordable option. That is why I brought forward the Trevit smartwatch. And I bootstrapped this myself. I worked 3 jobs to be able to pay for the bills here. I worked 3 jobs to be able to provide and to be able to run this business. Many bigger companies usually have a lot of funding and a lot of capital to be able to take care of their companies. But I'm doing this solo. I'm doing this on my own. It even makes me more excited and more happy to have you here, because I know that you see something in what I'm doing and you do appreciate what I'm bringing forth. So thank you so much.
All right. It says back in 2020, life wasn't easy for Cherie. Her mom was juggling school, working at night, and still taking care of everyone around her 2 kids in college and 1 in high school. Even with everyone helping, money was tight. Buying an Apple Watch to support her wellness journey wasn't possible. Um, when her when her uncle surprised her mom with one, the joy on her mom's face was overwhelming. That moment inspired her to provide the Trevette smartwatch, an affordable smartwatch. That's the key. So that's, I guess, how it's relatable to our folks. It's an affordable smartwatch designed for everyday people who deserve great features without the luxury price tag. Since launching early this year, the community has already shown so much love and support. She hopes to uh, more people will support by following her at Trevette Tribe and checking and buying the watch. So that is our Lit City report on 2 really dope, dynamic young sisters doing the damn thing, making it happen in a real way. And we are trying to, we want to celebrate them. We want to honor them, and we want to keep the good, keep the good vibes coming, keep the good things rolling so that we can be bigger, brighter, and better than ever. Um, and that was our Lit City report for this week. Um, y'all tell us what y'all think. Y'all put it in the comments. Would y'all rock with it? I wish she would have told more about the features and how they are competitive with some of the other watches. Does it take your blood pressure? Does it monitor your steps? Does it take a pulse? Does it, what does it do as a smartwatch? What are the new features? And are the features relatable to us as a people so that we can have products that are, directly designed for us? But shout out to her. Shout out to Trevette Tribe. Go there and we'll find out more. We might even feature her as part of the World Class Co-op Shop. I may reach out to her and see what we can gather so that we can get her on the World Class Co-op Shop. Um, so I want to get in real quick. So now we're going to get to Power to the People news. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. So I want to show y'all a video where, there's the Asian population in a country who sought for that Asian Pacific Islanders bill in Congress, and they got it passed. So, it took them almost 100 years to pass a lynching bill in Congress. But they got a Asian Pacific Islanders bill almost overnight. But the Asian community also petitioned to have affirmative action revoked, and it worked. Affirmative action was revoked, and now they're seeing peace, Sister Aurora. Glad to see you. So affirmative action was revoked at the advocacy of the Asian community in the United States, and it came back to boomerang them now because they have a 30% drop in their enrollment rates in PWIs and college institutions, where they were looking to take that affirmative action revoking, and they hoped it would open up doors for them to be more prosperous and for them to be more in the forefront as the model minority. And what's happening now, and what's interesting with the young Asian population, I'm talking like, young Gen Xers, young millennials, young Xers, young Zs, they're starting to tell some truths about the Asian community, which is really, really interesting. And I found this video that I want to run to y'all real quick on Power to the People News because it's just that. It's a great um, ditty on the power of Asian folks and what they're doing within the country and what they're noticing and what they are exposing within the country. So I'm gonna find this video. Give me 1 second. Tell the people how you doing. What's going on? Ain't seen you in a minute. I hope
Hey,
you're
I'm
good.
sorry. Yes,
Your health is all right now. Don't be sorry. We want you to
yeah,
take care of yourself and be well.
yeah. So we're moving, and so today I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
I'm
wow.
gonna get on the show. I was like, so this is why I'm looking like this. But we're
Nah, you're all good.
into our house, but we're not
Oh,
there
good for
yet.
y'all. That's
So
awesome.
each day we've been packing up stuff, and I can't move. My mobility is not as great as it used to be, but at least
Aw.
I can still direct my children. That goes there. That goes there.
Right, right,
so,
right.
so
Direct
you
that.
got to stay with the
Mhm.
job for a while before, because the moment that you sit there and leave, the cat's away.
Right.
So yeah, but we after it's almost a year to the time. December 17th will mark a year to the time that we had our fire, and we have been displaced since then. And so, but we're glad what God has done for us to keep us together and in a temporary home, which we appreciate. And so now it's time for us to leave it and get back to our house.
That's right. You did say so. So you're moving back to your house.
Yes, they're
Oh, so it's
yeah.
all so insurance and all of that has finally got it up and running. And
Yeah, well,
wow.
and that's why, yeah, and they're still delayed. They're over there now. And I actually had left, but the plumbers are over there now because they're trying to meet that deadline of Sunday. I was like, look, this is the third,
Mm,
and this is the third deadline that the third extension that they've had. We were supposed to be in our house in September 26th, and they were
yeah, I know about that.
yes, and people don't, I'm like, where people? I'm like, so then we get another deadline and then it gets moved again. And the
Hmm.
temporary housing owners are like, look, y'all got to go. We need to have our home back, And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
Wow.
it's
Yeah,
been
I
a
know
challenge.
about that. I had some family members that went through a fire and they had to, go through insurance and the
Mhm.
deadlines. It's comfortable in the beginning, but when them deadlines start
Oh,
approaching, you
it's
like,
just
yo, you feel you
exasperating.
that sort of anxiety ain't too cool, man. That'll really ruffle you up real quick.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're finally getting to start at least moving stuff over there. So that's what we're doing today and tomorrow, and the next day we'll be all busy trying to move back home.
Oh, bless y'all. That's
Yes.
dope. That's dope. That's dope. Well, let's look at this video so I could tie it into what I was talking about with the honesty
Keys
coming
up.
from the younger
Mhm.
Asian group in this country because they're not really feeling the way that their parents and their foreparents have
Mhm.
treated them as younglings and what they have been able to do throughout the country. And it also set them at odds with certain communities, especially ours. So we want to talk about this one young Asian person, and this video went viral on TikTok about Aboriginal quality. And listen to this one Asian cat has to say about Aborigines. Here we go.
25 except for those who already seem to fucking know it. Black people, they are the aboriginals of every continent. Dark-skinned people are the aboriginals of every continent. Native Americans migrated over the ice bridge from Siberia, that would be Asia, and became what we now know as Native Americans. Yes, they lived off the land. Yes, they knew how to give back to it, so therefore they should be considered indigenous. But the people who were on that land before them and the ice bridge even formed were black people. Black people also built pyramids on every continent. That's why there are pyramids on every continent. The Buddha was a dark-skinned man. The Chinese, we have a lot of trouble denying that we come from melanin. We do. We've tried. We have not succeeded. The difference between us and every other group is that we can admit to the fact that we came from melanin. Why can't everybody else? It's not erasure to say that black people were the aboriginals of every country. We're not saying you didn't exist. We're saying you came after. What's so hard to understand? Just like me saying that Koreans came from China. It's not me saying that they don't have their own culture. That's how all of these Korean nationalists took it in my comments. Oh, you're saying we don't have our own culture or genetic identity? No. I'm saying that culture and genetic identity came from us. If you are not tapped in, and you don't talk to marginalized groups, and haven't spent any time with them, y'all gonna be offended by what I'm saying. Some of y'all only research your own identity, and that's it. And that's the only content you make besides your matcha. So, I don't care who I have to lose, what followers. I already warned people when I got the big video, right? That I'm not the nice Asian. You're gonna find a reason to dislike me. This may be one of them. Trying to be seen keeps us from opening our eyes. Black people were here first. Black people were here first. Black people were here first.
Well, I think y'all get the point. There's always been this like contentiousness over whether black people have presence in Asia and in historical Asia, especially the times of pre-diagnostic times. Um, I think he settled that problem for us. I don't know. I don't know if Kim Jong Un is gonna all of a sudden, you know, put on a Yankee hat and a leather jacket and be black, but at least we're slowly getting the truth out there, and we're slowly dealing with the things that are constants throughout the world. Not to mention, Damo introduced the Asian continent to martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Damo traveled from North Africa to the Asian area, and he's on the walls in a Shaolin temple, showing the people who became instructors and great martial artists. They showing them a Kibulan martial arts or a Mortare or whatever name you want to call Africa, right? But showing them arts that came from the motherland, spreading it across the world. Uh, Sister Aurora, your thoughts on the honesty of the young Asian cat, and is there room for more, or
There
do
is
you
room
feel
for
as you
more.
get more polarized?
No, it's I have the unique pleasure of working for a community college. And so I meet young people of all diversities.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, the young Asian population, not only are they more, now I know their parents will probably want them to move a little bit closer to traditions, but they are not, they're not their parents. And I'll let you know by conversations such as the one that we just saw on TikTok. Young Asians are not, they're not diverse phobic. Um, there's many that belongs to the LGBTQIA community. And because when you're growing up, as one person said, we're growing up in the Bronx, and you're Asian, because I didn't hear his voice, and we used him to do this identity game because he does not have any Asian dialects. And so when
Ah,
people, so he would
he's
talk
a he's a he's a second, third, fourth generation.
both generation.
Asian that doesn't have a hint of accent. Yeah.
The hint of accent, and always, as
Hmm.
he used to say, and every time grandma's coming, he goes, I have to carry, and he goes in his pocket and shows his index card that his mom wrote out so that he can talk to her in the traditional language, or in his, or in their Mandarin language. And he's like, it's not my fault I don't know how to read this. But we have that generation that's moved away. But and then this particular day and time, the generation that has moved away a lot from tradition, it's not that they moved away, but they know their history and they know their traditions. So it's not like, oh, they're moved away because they don't know it. No, they know it, and they're absolutely 100% will share it with you. But they
Mm.
also know that, as that young lady said, they've come out of greater, you know. And
Oh,
so that's really a good thing to know, watching, especially watching the young people in the Asian people. Remember, it's the young folks, the Asian folks that's now into politics more. And that was not always the case. It's like, yeah, we keep our community. Yeah, we're in this area. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
yeah. Do
But
you
yeah,
think?
but go
So
right
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So we're on the show. We're talking. We're uh going over this particular Aboriginal point, and it's interesting because in Guangzhou, that they call Chocolate City in China, there is evidence of there's evidence of uh Islamic, middle-aged Islamic presence in China and in Japan as well. And they have temples, they constructed monuments to this, and these are like the best kept secrets of that that Asian area or that Asian time period, and it's not shared in the they did Japan did the closed door thing after World War II. They went to, and rightly so, they wanted to heal their nation after the bomb was dropped on them, and they had to heal their nation. They had to heal Asia, and then they rose up to be the economic force that dominates the world right now. They even took America's place, so America's number two, and Asia is one in economic stability and revenue, GDP across the world. And um, but it takes them a while to admit things like this, and meanwhile, relations between Asians and black people, especially in New York City and Cali. Like, I don't know if you remember, Sister Aurora, there was these incidents where a lot of Asian people were being mugged
Absolutely.
during the pandemic or right after, and then they created the Asian Pacific Islander Protection Bill because of it.
Yes, because people were beating on Asians, thinking that they brought
Hmm.
COVID and all the disease to us. Yeah, and the
Right,
big
like
movement with
I don't
the
know the motivations, but there
thing.
was some peculiar stuff going on back then, and some peculiar reasons, especially in New York City, where they had this thing where the people that they had as suspects who were beating up the Asians, they all had on like similar clothing. So if one person got arrested for beating up an Asian, how does that same person return to the street in the same swath of clothing and beat up another Asian person, get arrested, get let back out of the street to beat somebody up in the same specific swath of clothing each and every time? So, I mean, we got to dig a little deeper into what that actually means. But ultimately, what it means is that our race, our group and ethnic relations have to be better. Of course, when you go into the stores and you patronize their businesses, whether you're buying Chinese food or you're buying something from maybe a variety store that they have, and they may not trust the black patrons, but they sure want your dollar. You know what I mean? And of course, those things led to very contentious issues because a lot of black people couldn't get businesses and bank loans in their own communities, but Asian people could, and they could set up shop in their own in our communities without actually being residents there or reinvesting in the people. So there still lacks a lot to be desired in our, our relations. But at least this is a step in the right direction with the young people telling it like it is. And if you check out Instagram or Facebook, there are a bunch of young Asian folks jumping on and telling it like it is. They're not holding punches. They not they not mincing words. They're not unapologetic. They're like, yo, my mother and father told me not to F with y'all. But all I had to do is spend a half hour with one of y'all. And I get to see that y'all are dope people. Y'all are doing dope things. Y'all got great energy. Y'all are integral. Y'all are people that are really about yourselves. And why wouldn't I want to be involved with something like that? So I just wanted to show that as a joint in the show, as one of the power to the people news items. Anything else you got on that one, or we're good, sis? Anybody at home?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna move on. I saw this video, right? And I said, I gotta show this thing because it's more than a little crazy. It's it's wild, in fact. And let me grab it. Let me see if I can get to it. And I wanted to show it because it speaks to a lot of what we learned about yesteryear and what still goes on today. You know how a lot of the technocrats and a lot of the Republicans that sponsor the 2030 legislation and all of that,
Mhm.
they want to kind of fear porn you into what what you consider to be um what you consider to be uh correct culture for that exudes American ideals, the America first stuff, right? You following me?
Mhm.
Okay. So I wanted to show this video and I wanted to check people. I wanted people to check out what some of these what things what a couple of things are happening. Awareness.
Do you even know where that slogan comes from? It started out as Woodrow Wilson's campaign slogan. Now, Woodrow Wilson is one of the most racist presidents of the 20th century. He was the one who first screened the most racist film in American history, The Birth of a Nation. He screened it in the White House. He's also famous for supporting the Klan, saying that the white men were roused by a mere instinct of self-preservation until at last there had sprung into existence a great Ku Klux Klan, a veritable empire of the South to protect the Southern country. And by the 1930s, America First stopped being a presidential campaign slogan and was claimed by extremist far-right groups. And across the country, people explained the Klan, America First, and fascism in terms of one another. Like if they were trying to explain what Mussolini was up to, they would say it's basically America First, but in Italy. Now, the Klan instantly declared America First one of its most prominent campaign slogans. They would march with it and carry it in parades. They would put it on banners, advertisements, and flags, just like the racists of today. So when you hear people say America first and let's take America back, this is the time period they're talking about going back to. And this is the America first they're referencing.
All right, so there we go. So what's interesting about this is the conservative dum dums are in a civil war right now. The Charlie Kirk assassination set them at odds with each other. Candace Owens is going at Nick Fuentes, and Trump is going at Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all of them. The MAGA has broke into two warring factions of America First and MAGA. And then, of course, you have your moderate conservatives that are biting nails and real confused. Your libertarians. So, what I wanted to talk about and inform the people on is that America First is just one more vestige of yesteryear that they're trying to bring back and renew a racist connotation in no, that's fine. No, you're good, sis. If you gotta go, Do your thing. I
Thanks,
appreciate you
brother. I
hopping
will
on.
definitely see you. Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Do your thing. That's that. Always take family first. Take care of everything. Love to you. All right. So, we're talking about America first, and we want everybody to know that America first. All you got to do is, name the facts, name the people, and follow the money. State the facts, name the people, follow the money. State the facts, name the people, follow the money. In this case, we just stated the facts and we named the people. America First was an old vestige of old 20th century America, early 20th century America, that is. And they want people to buy into this now. And what people don't know, because it's corny to read history or keep up on history, is that America First was a Ku Klux Klan slogan. Just like the institution of the Pledge of Allegiance was a Ku Klux Klan institution. Just like the Pledge of Allegiance, I mean, not the Star Spangled Banner was a racist institution as well. And then, of course, the Pledge of Allegiance was a KKK parochial school and then into public school institutional device for loyalty and nationalism within the country. And we are, as a people, we are very afflicted in our political ideas. We want to be FBA, we want to be Pan African, we want to be Democratic, we want to be Republican, we want to be everything under the sun, but we really don't take the time to understand where all of these ideologies came from and how they're being used in today's modern times. So I just wanted to drop that on y'all real quick and let y'all know. So when y'all see all the America First crap running around and they want y'all to get involved with it, you can ask them the very crucial question. How would you expect me, as a melanated black person who came from ancestors who were, you know, uh, chattel property, to get involved with an organization whose ideas come from the Ku Klux Klan, an organization that terrorized much of the late 1800s and the 20th century in America, responsible for hundreds of mass race riots that killed hundreds of thousands of black people all over the country, bombed towns. We just talked about 5 Points earlier in the show. So I'm sure the Ku Klux Klan had took their turn on 5 Points, just like they took their turn on Tulsa, Oklahoma, just like they took their turn on Wilmington, North Carolina, and all those popping black towns and cities across the country that no longer exists, right? Lake Lanier in Georgia, anybody? So we just wanted to show that and talk about that real quick on Power to the People News. So know what you're getting yourselves involved with. Don't just think with your wallet or your purse. Understand the underlying meanings and symbolisms behind what you're getting yourself involved in. So you could move with, so you can have awareness for, so you can move fearless. You don't have to feel like because of a job affiliation or because of a church affiliation or because of a ethno-political affiliation, you have to endure their oppression or historical symbolic impression by way of America First or MAGA for that matter. I mean, the link is down there. If anybody wants to come up and debate why people should be involved with MAGA or why people should be involved with America First, knowing dark enlightenment and the technocrats lead, most conservative auspices right now. And then, of course, the branch that is diverging from the Republican Party and forming America First with Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and others after the death of CK, their ideology and symbolism is steeped in the most terroristic organization on American soil, which is the Ku Klux Klan, historically anyway. So let us know what you think about that. Let us know how you're dealing with that. If you have any Have you been approached by America First? Are they soliciting you to get involved with their campaigns, to contribute, to do different things in the name of them because maybe you signed up as a Democrat in the last election cycle? I mean, sorry, a Republican in the last election cycle, and they're trying to woo you this way or woo you that way and create polar stuff. Let me tell y'all something, man. We need our own party. It's way past bedtime for us to have our own political party in the United States. I said it on the show many, many, many a time. I'll say it again. It is way past bedtime for us to have our own political party so that we can lobby, we can campaign, and we can create our own politicians that advocate our own interests, that help us to, get better quality jobs, better quality housing, and we're not beholden to APAC or any, mega pack that wants to throw money around, mega pack or open society foundation, George Soros with BLM. We're not indebted to any of those areas. We can move how we want to move. We can do what we want to do, and we can determine our own destiny. Hey, I want to thank everybody watching. We got some few people out there in the ethos. Let us know what you think about that last clip that I showed about America First being a historical auspice of the Ku Klux Klan, just like the Star Spangled Banner. And the fourth verse was all about honoring slavery, the institution of slavery, and most people don't know it. And people get on these, shows and they get in these stadiums and they sing these Star Spangled Banner, Pledge of Allegiance, Star Spangled Banner. And then, of course, the Pledge of Allegiance was proliferated by the Klan to parochial schools and then eventually to all public schools. And we need to know these things. We need to know these things. Okay, by the 16th, let me do it right. Power to the people news. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. By the 16th of December, if you have a Gmail address or you have a digital product, you need to go on your Gmail back office, your back settings, and turn on your private notifications and write Google and let them know that you do not want them to read your emails and you do not consent to them harvesting your DMs for AI training. That's right. Google is going to harvest your data on Gmails, phones, smart devices, so on and so forth. And the only way to stop it is to go into your back office of Google and to switch your settings and to write like maybe a 3-sentence paragraph telling them that they do not have permission to fool around with your devices, to share any of your data, or to allow, Gemini AI to harvest your data for Gemini AI training purposes. Because once they're done with Gemini AI training, they will move that into data selling, not just data collecting and data aggregation. They'll move that into data selling. So they'll sell it to third party auspices that do what they want to with it. They can terrorize you. You know, they can, jack up your privacy. They can sell you all kind of crap. They can flood you with all types of spam, and they can make things very hard for you as a Gmail to have a Gmail account. And most of the known world, at least most people in the United States, have a Gmail account because they made that crucial to using services online. It's so integrated into almost everything. Just like Facebook and Instagram is almost integrated into every, you know, social media platform out there. So please protect yourself. Go do that. But there are other things that are going on with social media in terms of privacy, and I wanted to talk about a couple of them. Here's one. Well, let me go to the initial reason why they're doing this is here. U.S. lawmakers debate slate of kids online safety legislation. Now, they already did this in the UK. So it's really interesting that they're bringing it here. So I always say that a lot of foreign auspices, a lot of foreign countries, they are the case study for what America will or won't tolerate. If it works over there, then they might get the courage and the balls and the gumption to bring it over here because we're one of the more right held countries. We have rights. We're a citizen with unalienable rights. And they know that we are not just going to go for anybody doing any old thing to us because we have rights under the Constitution. With that being said, they want in the cover of night, they want to pass this legislation for kids' safety online. Now, this is a red herring. It sounds good, it looks good, but what it's going to do is it's going to have you one more time giving up your voluntary consent for what seems like a good thing, but really becomes the ultimate bastion for evading your privacy. Because this is how they're going to do it. Now, I'm all for kids being protected online. How we do it, that's another issue. But what they want to do here is they want to propose legislation that makes YouTubers get identification recognition. They want identification recognition software through AI. They want identification recognition scanning. And they want an age verification amongst all Facebook, Meta, and YouTube and internet users. And what's interesting about this is we're kind of in a conundrum. How can you protect the children and secure age verification and identity verification without giving up the ghosts, giving up your own privacy, giving up your own peace? And they are so bold that they would say that even if they're gonna have an AI model, right? Where no, not that one. It's not that one. Hold on, let me find it. They have an AI model, right, for YouTube where they want to verify you through YouTube and other social media auspices, and they want the AI algorithm to guess your identity. And if it doesn't guess your identity properly, right, then you have to prove your own identity or you won't be able to use, you know, the different you won't be able to use the different auspices online, those different social media platforms. You just won't be able to use it. They'll shut you down. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy, that's crazier than bed bugs, in my opinion. Um, okay, why two? Okay, I found it. All right, cool. All right, here we go. All right, so here's one. And this is what YouTube is saying they'll want people to do. YouTube will start using AI to guess your age. And if it's wrong, you'll have to prove it. Now, this is just not my article. This is out of CNN Business on August 13th of this year. So y'all can go back, read that. YouTube will start using AI to guess your age. And if it's wrong, you'll have to prove it to them. So that means you'll have to put, your own private documents, maybe scan them, maybe put them in some sort of forward way that will verify who you are. Even though you already had to do that to get onto your own, you know, social media platform. You got to have your own password. You got to have your own user ID. You already have a ton of verifiable information already floating online. Now they want you to go even further. So that's even more of a, invasion of your privacy. And are they really going to protect kids? And isn't YouTube and Facebook the same ones that had to go before Congress a little while ago? And they got fined for not preventing predatory behavior on their platforms, right? Isn't that the same groups of social media entrepreneurs and business companies that got smacked with like $5 million, fines from the SEC and auspices like that, federal protection agencies. And now they want you to give up your information again. So it's almost like you got to prove yourself to prove yourself to prove yourself. Most Def had a line on on like water for chocolate. The questions, he goes, if I had ID, I wouldn't need ID. So I need ID to need ID to need more ID. Crazy and a half, man. We need to fight this whole thing. We need to be very vigilant about what it means because they are slowly hyper regulating. Now, I thought Republican parties were supposed to be the party of laissez faire and big business and hand government, small government, right? Right? Small government. But now we're seeing that it's slowly being the party of government control. Here's another one. YouTube launches AI age verification in US, which will automatically restrict users estimated to be under 18. Now, they already had years and years and years, especially during the pandemic, when it was very convenient for children to have access to digital devices, phones, social media accounts. They made it necessary for school, necessary for work, necessary for commerce, necessary for communication and correspondence. And now they want to tell you that you're going to have an AI age verification. We got to fight it. Let's fight that. And also, they want to even go one further. No, not this one, not this one. Face scans to estimate our age. Harmful and creepy AF. I agreed. Agreed. So now they're going to get your biometric information just for you to play Royal Kingdom on Facebook or Farmville or some shit like that. Come on, folks. Turn them privacy settings off. Matter of fact, have a healthy diet of turning all this crap off for indefinite periods of the day. So I know some of us can't go without it. Like, I run my show through it, and that will change when we go to our, format on Roku and Amazon and we get off the social media plantations. But for now, we're on here, and I'll give you guys fair warning of the change and the movement in those regards. But I find it very, very interesting that they're getting more and more and more regulatory with the social media products out here. And unless we stand up, and the biggest way that you can curtail hyperinflation, hyperregulation is just not to participate in their game. Don't play their game. If you are off Facebook for 8 to 10 hours of the day, huge blocks of time, they can't do nothing about that. And they're gonna have to try different measures to get to win you back and to bring you back. Don't let them rob you of your biometric privacy. Don't let them rob you of your legal privacy. And don't let them rob you of your in-kind online data like here. Because we've heard more breaches going on in the last 2 years. It's record breaches, record banking, government, and database breaches all over the country, cross industry, because the way that this digital age is being ushered in. So don't let them do it. These should be things that are brought up on candidate platforms. The people of New York should have asked Mondami about these sorts of things, because he's going to be responsible for ushering in a big part of this during his reign as mayor. And then, it should be something that we're asking Hochul about, and demanding her to do things about. And let me tell you something. Voting is not the only way that you could affectionately make change in government. I know everybody thinks it is, but it's not. You can impeach people, you can remove people from office, and you can prove them incompetent and unfit of office. All you got to do is do some homework. And if they're not doing what the will of the people is, it is your right to have a redress of grievances and move on from bum ass politicians that don't serve the people. So I got one more thing before we leave, and that's our Real HD show channel lineup for the week. I want to show that really quickly, and then we're going to get out of here. Um, please support our shows. Please watch our shows. We are trying to bring you more and more and more quality programming. Um, I'll talk about a couple of those things. Some new shows that are coming up after we see this real clip vignette of the lineup, the Real HD Show TV lineup for this week. Here we go. All right, so that is the Real HD TV lineup for this week. You can catch it all on all of the channels that we broadcast to: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Kick, D Live, Trovo Nation, everywhere you want to be. We are the Real HD. We are prime time with a purpose. We are also in development of a show called Melanin Magic Merchandise. That's right. Black centric shopping coming to a home near you. That's right. We got Amazon, we got Walmart, we got Pinterest, we got a lot of shopping affiliates, but we're going to concentrate and focus on Black culture, Black centric shopping so that it means something to you. So if you want to get involved, now's the time to put your business on Amazon or Walmart. And we want to solicit your business during that show. We want to make you part of the world class co op shop. And we have two dynamic sisters that are going to run it. The Jazzes, as I like to call them. Jazzies, right? The Jazzies. Shout out to the Jazzies. They are going to come on and do a great job on Melanin Magic Merchandise, home shopping for Black people. All right. That's going to do it for us this week on the Real HD Show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on all your comments so that every time we have a Real HD Show, you too could tap in and have a higher discussion with us. And make sure you turn on and let me know, man. Let me know, timestamp what you like about the show. Timestamp. I didn't get to everything I wanted to do today, but I got to enough of it. Um, make sure you turn on notifications so I can reach you, because I'm hearing some uneven reports about maybe everybody's not always getting the notifications. Please look out for the channel lineups that are going to come to you every week. Tuesday, Wednesday, if not Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Look out for those and put those in your save them. Clip them so that you know when the shows come on, and you too could jump in with us and we can have a good time on the Real HD TV network. We're gonna say peace and walk with power. Y'all love on each other. All right, I'll talk to y'all next week, next hump day.